Hello everybody, my name is Michael and I work for the Math Lab, and today we're going to suppose we are trying to solve a quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 using the quadratic formula, and we get a negative discriminant. We want to know what we can conclude based on that. So basically I want to start off by mentioning what the discriminant is. It's this guy that's under the radical in the quadratic formula. So let me just rewrite it for clarity. The discriminant is b squared minus 4 AC, where B, A, and C are the same as these B, A's, and C's in the quadratic formula. So this B is the same as this B, this C is the same as this C, this A is the same as this A. So now that that's been mentioned, I want to mention that the discriminant can tell us many things about the number of real solutions in a quadratic equation. So if we plug in a discriminant and we find that it's less than 0, we know that we have no real solutions. If we plug into the discriminant and find it's equal to 0, we know we have one real solution. If we plug in a discriminant and find that it's greater than 0, we have two real solutions. And so let's go over an example of each. So the first one is a case where the discriminant is equal to 0. This is the example equation I'm giving. Well, let's say that you don't know that the discriminant is equal to 0. So how would you check that? Well, you would use this expression here, b squared minus 4ac, and then just plug in b, a, and c. So I have negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1, which is 4 minus 4, which is 0. So the discriminant was equal to 0. Now I'm going to go ahead and check that. So if I factor x squared minus 2x plus 1, it gives me x minus 1 times x minus 1. And then if I try to solve for x, then I get that x is equal to positive 1. So there was only one real solution, since both of these factors are equivalent. So now I'm going to go ahead and try another one where there should be no real solutions. But let's say you don't know that. How you would check it is, let's say this is your example. This is the equation you're working with, let's say. And you should plug in to the discriminant. So I'm going to plug in what B is, A is, and C is. Solving that, I get 1 squared is just 1. Minus 4 times 1 is just negative 4. So I end up with 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. So the discriminant was negative. Now I'm going to check to make sure that there are no solutions. So I have negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1 squared minus 4 times 1 over 2 times 1. Simplifying the inside of the radical first, I get negative 3. And then since there's a negative in front of, inside a square root, I already know that there are no real solutions. However, I mean, if I wanted to show the imaginary solution, it would look something like this. I don't think you guys are going to have to worry about that yet, though. So I'm just going to mention that there is an imaginary solution. There's two of them, but there are no real solutions. Anyway, so now let's go over a case where the discriminant is greater than 0. But let's say you don't know that. So here's your example equation. And then I want you guys to plug into the discriminant expression. And so plug in what A, B, and C are. So we have 1 minus 4 times 1 times negative 2. That gives us minus 4 times negative 2, which is 1 plus 8, which is 9. So let's check to see if there are two solutions. So I have negative 1 plus or minus square root of 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 2 over 2 times 1. Simplifying the inside of the radical, I get 9. And then I know that 9 is just 3 times 3, so I can take a 3 out of the radical. So I have negative 1 plus or minus 3 over 2. And then separating that into the two factors for x, I have x equals negative 1 plus 3 over 2, which is equal to 2 over 2, which is equal to 1. And I have x minus 1 minus 3 over 2. Subtract negative 1 and negative 3. That gives me negative 4 over 2, which I can simplify it to be negative 2. So those are my two factors. Now, since it says in the question that the discriminant is negative, it means that we should have no real solutions. We might have imaginary solutions, but we know for sure that we have no real solutions. Hope that makes sense, everybody. Good luck on your next math exam. If you ever need any more help with this stuff, come see me or any of my other friends in the math lab.